What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Friday, June 13th. We're going to give out our plays on every MLB game on the slate and the NBA Finals game between the Pacers and Thunder. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, we got greedy. Plain and simple, that is what happened. We had the Mets at -1.5. We had them straight up. We would have won. It was a 4-3 win there for the Mets. They give up 3 runs in the top of the 9th to blow the win for us. So very, very annoying stuff. In that one, we had the under there in that Rangers-Minnesota Twins game. That was pretty wild, guys. The Texas Rangers scoring 16 runs in a game ever this season was not something I had on my bingo card personally. We had the Cardinals at -130. We ended up being on the wrong side of a Sonny Gray implosion, and that's kind of par for the course with how the day went. Mizraowski was nuts out there until he rolled his ankle, but that kid had a great debut, so good for him. The Cubs at -115, another spot where we got too greedy. That was our dog of the day. Took him at -1.5 to get him at +112, but they end up winning by a single run, a 3-2 win. We shouldn't have been greedy, but also where was that Cubs offense at? Last but not least, we did have the Tigers at -180 as our massive lock of the day. That was a 4-1 win. We are not going to be fading Skubal around here anytime soon, guys. So at least the pretty sick run on the lock of the day continues. We're going to go ahead and dive in. We've got a massive slate here on Friday. A ton of games to cover and an NBA Finals game, so let's get to it. First up, we're looking at the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. The Pirates come into this game fresh off of that 3-2 loss there in Game 1 at the Cubs. Now, the Pirates at 28-42 on the year, not having a great time, but they're hitting the ball to Paul Skeens, who's doing what he can out there. He's only 4-6 on the season, but a 1.88 ERA. He hasn't given up more than a single earned run over any of his last 5 starts. His last time out, 7 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. Struck out 7 and walked 1 in a 2-1 win there over the Phillies. So very good stuff from Skeens. I know that's not going to be a huge shock to anyone. We'll see what he can do here against the Cubs, a team he actually struggled a little bit against back on May 1st. So maybe a bounce back spot here for Skeens. The Pirates bullpen, nothing special, a 4.10 bullpen ERA. And the offense, 2, 5, 2, 10, 2, 2, and 5 runs over their last few games. They're 29th in runs scored in the majors this year. They're 29th in slugging percentage. Just not that dynamic of a team at the plate. So we'll see what they can do here against the Cubs, who come into this game fresh off of that win. They're 42-27 on the year, hitting the ball to Cade Horton, who's 3-1 on the season, a 4.11 ERA. His last start didn't go great at the Tigers. 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 4 earned runs allowed. He struck out 6 and walked 2. Over his last 5 starts, I'll say he's looked decent. The Cubs have done a great job giving run support, but with those starts coming against Washington, Colorado, Miami, and the White Sox, not exactly a murderer's row, but he's going up against the Pirates here, so obviously not a great offense there. We'll see what Cade Horton can do in this matchup. I'm expecting him to be at least decent. The Cubs bullpen has gotten way better over the course of the year. They're currently all the way up to 6th best in the majors in bullpen ERA. The offense, though, hasn't really been that impressive their last few games. 3, 2, 8, 3, and 0 runs over the last few. That's not looking like the second highest scoring offense in the majors to me right now. They're 3rd in batting average, 5th on base percentage, so I think they're going to be fine, but not really lighting up the plate at the moment. So looking at the numbers here, the Pirates are -105, the Cubs are -110. We've got a total of 7. The Pirates are 9-22 on the road. They are 19-10-2 to the under on the road. The Cubs are 20-9 at home. They are 15-12-3 to the over at home. I'm going to shade here just slightly towards the Cubs at home. I don't love this spot with Skeens on the mound. I do think it's a reasonable no-run first inning spot, so that's definitely something you consider with these two dudes out there going up against these two offenses. But the Cubs offense is decent, but I don't know. Getting on the board against Skeens in the first inning seems a little bit rough, so maybe a no-run first inning or just stay away. Rolling along here, we're looking at the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Marlins come into this game. They just lost 2 out of 3 there against the Pirates. Now they'll hand the ball in this game to Edward Cabrera. He's 2-2 on the year, a 3.99 ERA. His last 3 outings, and honestly, 4 out of his last 5, maybe even all of his last 5, have looked very, very reasonable. Last time out, 4 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run allowed there against Tampa Bay. Now he gave up 3 runs overall. That wasn't a great start, but start before that, he dominated San Francisco. Start for that, he dominated the Angels. Angels. We've liked what we're seeing recently from Cabrera. Now, in terms of going up against the Nationals, he faced them to open his season back in like mid-ish April, and he was fine in that outing, but the Marlins did eventually lose 7-4 there. So we'll see what happens in this one. Their bullpen is not very helpful. A 4.66 bullpen ERA is what, 6th worst in all of Major League Baseball. And the offense, I mean, 2, 3, 3, 2, 11, 3, and 2 runs over their last few. You kind of get the picture here, guys. They're 24th in runs scored. They are 21st in slugging percentage, not running a lot of sluggers up there to the plate. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Nationals, who are 30 and 38 on the season. They're having a rough time recently, losing their last 5 in a row, getting swept there in that 3-game series against the Mets. Doesn't look great, but we did make a decent amount there. You know, some solid wins on that series betting on the Mets. So we'll see what they can do here, handing the ball to Mitchell Parker, who's 4-6 on the season, a 4.44 ERA. This young 25-year-old has had his ups and downs. Recently, it was a lot of downs, but his last start, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, only 1 of which was earned against the Rangers. Looks a bit better. Now, we did eventually see Washington lose that game 5-0. So take that with a little grain of salt. We'll see what he can do here against the Marlins, a team that he faced back in mid-April. This is actually a rematch of these two starters. He went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 of them were earned, and it was eventually a 7-4 win for Washington. So we'll see how that works out. The Nationals bullpen, though, terrible, 2nd worst in the majors, and their offense has looked really bad recently. 3-0, 4-2-0, and 2 runs over their last few games. They're down to 19th in runs scored. They're 26th in on-base percentage. They are not running a lot of dudes out there to the plate that make me too impressed. So looking at the numbers here, the Marlins are plus 105. The Nationals are minus 125. We've got a total of 9 in this game. The Marlins are 11 and 21 on the road, 18 and 14 to the over on the road. Washington is 15 and 18 at home, 17, 15 and 1 to the under at home. I'm going to lean here a bit towards the Nationals and Mitchell Parker. Minus 125 is a little bit expensive for this specific team in this specific matchup, so it's probably not going to be in the pinned comment, but I do think the Nationals are the side you want to be on. Next on the docket, we've got the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. The Blue Jays come into this game fresh off that 3-game sweep there in St. Louis. They'll hand the ball in this one to Kevin Gausman. He is 5-4 in the year, a 3.87 ERA. His last couple of starts, though, have been troubling. I mean, I guess heading into Minnesota, putting up 6 innings and giving up 3 earned runs isn't terrible, especially when it comes in a 5-4 win there for the Blue Jays. But 8 hits over 4 2/3 innings against the Athletics, that's not a great look, but we have to acknowledge that the Blue Jays are 4-0 over his last 4 starts, so we'll see what he can do in this one. He hasn't faced the Phillies yet this year. The bullpen for Toronto has been shockingly competent. A 3.46 bullpen ERA has them 7th best in all of the major leagues, and the offense has absolutely just, I don't know, guys, it's just come alive. I mean, 5, 10, 5, 3, 5, 6, and 9 runs over their last few games. They're all the way up to 14th in the majors in runs scored. They're 5th in the MLB, guys, batting .256 as a team, 9th in on-base percentage, getting on base at a .326 clip, and they're top 10 in slugging percentage. Like, all of a sudden, this offense looking really, really scary. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Phillies, who just won 2 out of 3 against the Cubs. Seems like they're getting back on track a little bit. They're 39 and 29 on the year, handing the ball to Ranger Suarez, who's 4-1 this season, a 2.70 ERA. His last start was against the Pirates, 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, in what was eventually a 2-1 loss for the Phillies. But he's been throwing the ball really well. Hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs. I mean, he's given up 3 total earned runs over his last 4 starts combined. Like, doesn't get a whole lot better than that. Now, going up against Toronto could be a little bit tougher, but I'm liking what Ranger Suarez is doing right now. The Phillies bullpen, though, a whole different situation. A 4.56 bullpen ERA is currently 8th worst in the majors. So that's a tough look. The offense seems like it's rounding back into form, 7, 4, and 4 runs over their last 3 games, but not hitting the cover off the ball. They're still 9th in runs scored and 9th in batting average, so I'm not going to freak out too much, but it's not looking like the dominant offense they need it to be with this current, at least bullpen, if not entire pitching staff. So looking at the numbers here, the Blue Jays are plus 110. The Phillies are minus 134. We've got a total of 8. Toronto is 16 and 17 on the road. They're 17, 15 and 1 to the under on the road. The Phillies are 21 and 13 at home, 17, 15 and 2 to the over at home. In terms of a side in this game, I'm going to be leaning just slightly towards the Phillies at minus 134, thanks to Suarez being on the mound. You could talk me into taking the Phillies, maybe just in the first 5. That would make sense. You dodge that Phillies bullpen situation. I could get on board there. In terms of a total, I'll lean a bit towards the under here. I mean, maybe not too much towards the under, but a little bit, or maybe under in the first 5 could be live as well, but not a game where I'm showing enough value to make it to the pinned comment. Hey guys, jumping here with a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 years running, and is off to a very solid start to the year, coming off a relatively good day yesterday as well. At StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks that are only posted there, our free-to-use bet size calculator, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not and usually will not always match what we see here in the videos. As guys, I am not the premium capper for MLB over at Stump The Spread. We've got a guy with many more years of experience, takes a crazy amount of work that he puts into these premium picks that he puts out every single day. There's still going to be wins and losses, but man, you can feel very, very safe that you are at least on the right side, even if, luck is against you occasionally. But definitely a guy that's taking every single variable you can imagine, stuff that I wouldn't even have considered and don't have time to even mention in these YouTube videos. He's working in there on those picks that he's putting out every single day. So definitely get over there, check him out. Also, get over to StumpTheSpread.com and get on our free email list. All you got to do to sign up for a free account, they just need your name and your email address. That's it. You'll be on the free email list, and there'll be an email every single day straight to your inbox with at least one free pick. Information on niche sports betting like NASCAR, golf, tennis, you name it. All kinds of stuff can be in there. Also, parlays, and there's often no-run first inning parlays, all kinds of good stuff right there in that email that comes straight to your inbox every single day. So definitely consider getting over there, signing up for that. And guys, if you're a huge fan of what we're doing every single day, click that little join button right below the video to sign up for a channel membership. Channel members get early access to all of our videos and get their names up on screen in every video, but you also get access to our members only giveaways. Tomorrow, guys, it'll be Saturday. If you're a member by Saturday, you will be eligible for our members only giveaway. We're giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random member. We'll do a drawing live on the video, tomorrow's video. So yeah, it'll be the video for the 14th. And, you've got a chance to win a free hoodie. It'll be shipped straight to your mailbox. So definitely consider signing up for a channel membership by clicking that little join button. And now, guys, let's hop back into the games. We have a ton to cover today. And next up, we're looking at the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Angels come into this game still playing pretty well. It's gotten kind of wild. They're up to 33-34 on the year. They've won 5 out of their last 6 games. They'll hand the ball in this one. They're coming fresh off that sweep of the Athletics to Jack Kahanowitz. This young 24-year-old is 3-7 on the year, a 5.61 ERA. His last 4 starts, he's been very consistent. He's given up 4 earned runs in each of them. Not the best look. Now, the Angels are 2-2 over that span, but I can't really say this kid's throwing the ball great. So we'll see what he can do in this one, going on the road to take on the Orioles. He faced Baltimore earlier this year and actually looked really good back in early May. 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, only a single earned run allowed. He walked 4 and struck out 4, so we'll see what he does this time against the Orioles, who've been a little bit better recently. I do have to mention that. Now, the Angels bullpen, a 5.54 bullpen ERA, 3rd worst in the majors. They're pretty solidly one of the 3 worst bullpens in all of Major League Baseball. Now, the offense coming alive, 6-2, 7-2, 8, 5, and 9 runs over their last several games. That's pretty impressive, not going to lie. They're currently 18th in the majors in runs scored. They're 28th in on-base percentage, 27th in batting average. Those numbers look bad, but they're finding ways to make things happen right now. So we'll see. We'll see what they can do here on the road against Baltimore. The Orioles, 27-40 on the season. They just lost 2 out of 3 against the Tigers. They've dropped 3 out of their last 4. Skubal putting up 7 shutout innings against them. That's a pretty good look for us, as we were on the Tigers there as the lock of the day. Now, the Orioles are going to hand the ball in this one to Charlie Morton. Uncle Charlie is 2-7 on the year, a 6.59 ERA. His last start, a letdown against the Athletics. 2 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs allowed. But we did eventually see the Orioles offense carry him, getting the win there 7-4. His start for that, he was very good against the White Sox. Start for that was very serviceable against the Cardinals. Overall, he's been throwing the ball really, really well lately. So we'll see what he looks like here against the Angels, a team he went 2 innings, gave up no runs, no hits against, what was that, back in May. So we'll see. That was eventually a 5-2 loss there for Baltimore, but they're a different team, it feels like, right now. Their bullpen, not a different bullpen, though, guys. Bottom 5 in the majors in bullpen ERA. The offense, though, starting to maybe figure things out. But gone is the offense of yesteryear, guys. Completely gone. I mean, they're 25th in runs scored. They're 24th in on-base percentage. They're 15th in slugging percentage. This is not the team from last year that was hitting the cover off the ball. So we'll see what they can do here at home. The Angels are plus 138. The Orioles are minus 164. We got totals out there of 10 or 10.5. The Angels are 18-18 on the road, 21-15 to the over on the road. Baltimore is 13-19 at home, 17-13-2 to the over at home. I'm not going to take over 10 or over 10.5 in this game. It seems a little bit crazy to me, but I mean, not enough to, take the under for sure. That seems insane as well. In terms of a side, I'm going to lean here slightly towards the Orioles at minus 164, but this is not a team that I feel like deserves to be a minus 164 favorite, really, against anyone. Next up, guys, we got to briefly mention the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. Now, unfortunately, there are no lines out for this game at time of recording, so we're just going to mention it in case it ends up getting thrown in the pinned comment later when the numbers do eventually come out. The Reds just won 2 out of 3 against the Guardians. They did lose the last game of that series, which snapped a 5-game winning streak. They'll hand the ball in this one to Nick Martinez, who's 4-6 on the year, a 3.70 ERA. He's coming off an excellent start against the Diamondbacks. 6 innings, 6 hits, only a single earned run allowed in that game, and it was a 13-1 win for the Reds. So that has to feel pretty good. We'll see what he can do here against the Tigers. Obviously, a pretty tough team to face, but he's had a decent year. I'll give him some credit. The bullpen for the Reds, getting good again, a 3.94 bullpen ERA. Not a bullpen I'm too worried about. The offense can be a little bit hit or miss, no pun intended, but it's been a lot more hit than miss recently. They're 10th in runs scored, 17th in batting average, 12th in slugging percentage. It looks like this is an above average offense. So we'll see what they can do here against the Tigers, who are 45-25 on the year, just winning 2 out of 3 against the Orioles. They'll hand the ball to Keter Montero in this game. At least that's what's being reported right now. He's 2-1, a 4.30 ERA. Fresh off of a kind of bad start against the Cubs, but it's the Cubs, so we'll cut him some slack. He had looked really good in back-to-back starts, so we'll see which version of Keter Montero we get in this game. The Tigers' bullpen has been excellent this year, no doubt about that. That's not a huge concern, even though they've had some bumps in the road recently. The offense has also taken a big stride forward. They're 6th in runs scored. They are 12th in batting average, 11th in on-base percentage. I think they're going to be just fine. So, unfortunately, can't give you a lean on this one. It's a wait-and-see spot with no numbers posted for this game. Next up, we've got a big rivalry game between the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. The Yankees come into this one fresh off of sweeping the Royals. They're getting the 1-0 win at Kansas City in Game 3 to finish off the sweep. They'll hand the ball to Ryan Yarbrough in this game. Normally a bullpen guy, or was normally a bullpen guy. I guess that's not really true anymore. He's going to be making his 6th straight start, but got shelled by the Red Sox the last time he faced them, and it was back on the 7th, so a grand total of 6 days ago. That's a tough look. We'll see what happens in this one, but 4 innings, 9 hits, 8 earned runs allowed. Not a good look, especially for a game we eventually saw the Yankees lose 10-7. So we'll see if you can figure the Red Sox out this time. The Yankees bullpen, a 3.78 bullpen ERA. Not amazing, but not horrendous, and they've shown the ability to be much better than that at different points this year. The offense for the Yankees obviously been off the chain good. Now, putting up only a single run there in Game 3 against the Royals, that's not a good look. But they're 3rd in runs scored, 1st in on-base percentage, and they still have Aaron Judge, guys. He's batting .392 with 25 home runs and 59 RBIs. That's pretty insane stuff. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Red Sox. They come into this game 34-36 on the season. They just won 2 out of 3 against the Rays. They're handing the ball to Garrett Crochet in this game, who's been excellent this year, 6-4, a 2.35 ERA, but his last start was against the Yankees, and it didn't go well. 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs allowed, 9 strikeouts, 1 walk, and a 10-7 loss, or 10-7 win there for the Red Sox. So, yeah, he didn't throw the ball particularly well, but that didn't really matter in this particular spot. So, we'll see what happens this time. Now, the Red Sox bullpen, it's been a bit all over the place, improving down the stretch this year to get down to a 3.51 bullpen ERA, but not really a bullpen I can fully trust. And speaking of things I can't fully trust, we've got that Red Sox offense, which is currently 5th in runs scored, 7th in batting average, but they scored 4, 3, 8, 11, and 10 over their last few games. So we'll see what happens in this one. Looking at the numbers here, the Yankees are plus 120, the Red Sox are minus 140. We've got a total of 8.5. The Yankees are 20-13 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. They're 16-15-2 to the over on the road. Boston 19-17 at home, 19-15-2 to the under at home. Guys, the number that jumps out to me for this one is over 8.5 because of what we saw when these two teams played at Yankee Stadium only a few days ago. We saw an 11-7, a 10-7, and a 9-6 game. All of those very, very easy overs. So playing in Fenway versus playing in Yankee Stadium, obviously they're drastically different parks, but I don't think either one hinders offense too much. So give me over 8.5 on this one. Very likely to make it into the pinned comment. In terms of a side, I'll be leaning just slightly towards the Yankees, despite having Yarbrough on the mound. At plus 120, you don't get the Yankees at plus money too often, and Crochet looked very hittable against New York the last time he faced them. So that's my logic behind that, but I think the over is probably the safer play. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The Rays come into this game losers of their last two in that 3-game series there against the Red Sox. They'll hand the ball here to Taj Bradley, who has been struggling pretty mightily. This young 24-year-old came onto the scene a little bit last year, having a great season, but 4-5 this season, a 4.58 ERA. I don't know. Last time out, 4 innings, 6 hits, 7 earned runs against the Marlins. That's a pretty big yikes. He did have a great start against Houston before that, but I don't know. Just haven't really felt like we can trust Taj Bradley this season overall, and the numbers kind of back that up. Now, he hasn't faced the Mets this year, so we'll see how that goes. The Tampa Bay bullpen's been excellent, 4th best in the majors in terms of bullpen ERA, but the offense, it has its moments, but I mean, over its last couple games, 3 and 1 runs scored. They're 11th in runs scored and 16th in batting average, but 19th in on-base percentage. We'll see what they can get done here against the Mets. I'm not necessarily holding my breath for a huge day from the Rays at the plate, but the Mets, they come into this one playing great. They've won 6 in a row. They're handing the ball to Clay Holmes, who's 7-3 on the year, a 2.95 ERA. Now, his last start was a weird one. It was at Colorado, where weird stuff does tend to happen to pitchers, but he went 6 innings, gave up 9 hits, only a single earned run, gave up 1 home run, but walked 0 and struck out 6 in a 8-1 win. So we'll give him credit there, obviously taking care of business, but obviously a very, very odd and unusual, stat line to see. But Clay Holmes, he's been good this year. I'm not too worried about him. I'm obviously not worried about that Mets bullpen. 2nd best in the majors, a 2.89 bullpen ERA. And the offense is finally figuring things out. Now, they did burn us aggressively yesterday because we had them at -1.5. We took them straight up, no problem. But we took them -1.5, getting greedy, and they end up blowing it in the 9th inning to only win by 1. But they have won. They've put up 4, 5, 5, 13, 8, and 4 runs over their last few games. So looking at the numbers, guys, the Rays are +140. The Mets are -166. We've got a total of 8 in this game. Tampa Bay is 13-12 on the road, 15-10 to the under on the road. The Mets are 27-7 at home. That's an MLB best mark at home. They are 20-12-2 to the under at home. I mean, I'm not interested in under 8 with Taj Bradley on the mound, but I love the Mets here at -166. Seems like a steal to me at anything less than 2-1. So yeah, I'll definitely take the Mets here at -166. It's certainly going in the pinned comment, and it could end up being our lock of the day, which would be a very inexpensive price to be our lock of the day. Next on the list, guys, we've got the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the Atlanta Braves. The Rockies just avoided the worst start in the modern era by getting that 8-7 win against the Giants. A big come-from-behind win, a 2-run single in the 9th inning. I mean, pretty bonkers stuff. Kind of seems weird that every time they get their backs against the wall of one of these, massive, crazy, weird records that they find a way to get a win. But we'll see what they can do in this one. Handing the ball to German Marquez, who's 2-8 on the year, a 7.00 ERA. His last time out, it was against the Mets, 5 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, including surrendering 3 home runs in that game. Something very out of character for him, but still not a great outing. And it's not like he's having an amazing season either. He's given up 4, 3, 2, 1, and 5 earned runs over his last few games. Going up against the Braves, maybe not too scary. It's not like they're a great offense, but the last time he faced the Braves, back on April 29th, he gave up 11 hits and 7 earned runs over 5 1/3 innings. So we'll see. Not expecting anything great from German Marquez. Not expecting anything great from that Colorado Rockies bullpen. A 4.27 bullpen ERA. Not ideal. And the offense, guys, pretty clearly the worst offense in the majors. They're last in runs scored, last in on-base percentage, second to last in batting average. I mean, I don't know. I just don't have a lot of good things to say, guys. The Rockies suck. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Atlanta Braves, who are 29-38 on the year, not having a good season themselves. They did just win 2 out of 3 against the Brewers. They'll hand the ball in this game to Bryce Elder, who's 2-3 this season, a 4.08 ERA. His last time out, concerningly in some ways, he went 8 innings, gave up 3 hits, only a single earned run, while walking 0 and striking out 12 in a 3-2 loss there at San Francisco. So we'll see if he gets any run support in this one. Also see if that prolonged start wears him down a little bit. The last time he faced the Rockies, he was decent. 6 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs in a 6-3 win back in late April. So looking at the numbers here, I'm a little confused if I'm being honest. And I mean, looking at the numbers for the Atlanta Braves offense, I'm confused at how bad they are, to be quite frank, guys. They're 21st in runs scored, 19th in slugging percentage. Nobody really having a great time. Matt Olson starting to put together a pretty decent season, but he's only batting .238, so let's not get too excited. It's been a bit bleak. I mean, 6, 1, 7, 3, 2, 4, 10, and 1 runs over their last few games. So the Rockies being plus 230, the Braves being minus 300. We had a total of 9 in this game. The Rockies are 6-28 on the road. That's an MLB worst road mark. They're 23-10-1 to the under on the road. Atlanta is 17-14 at home, 19-9-3 to the under at home. I could definitely wrap my head around under 9 in this game. I don't think we're going to see a crazy amount of offense, and I'm certainly not interested in the side in this one, given these crazy lopsided prices and how bad German Marquez is. So give me the under and let me stay away from this one. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. The White Sox come into this game fresh off of losing 2 out of 3 against the Astros. They're 23-46 on the year, so kind of doing what the White Sox do. They'll hand the ball in this game to ex-Texas Ranger Adrian Hauser, who's 2-1 this season, a 1.48 ERA. This is only his 5th start of the season, but he's looked very good in 4 out of those 5 starts, dominating the Royals his last time out, dominating the Mets earlier this year, dominating Seattle earlier. He did struggle a little bit at Baltimore back on the 1st of June, but overall, loved what we've seen from Hauser this season. The White Sox bullpen, a 4.38 bullpen ERA. Clearly nothing too special there. And the offense, kind of your classic White Sox offense. They're a little bit less bad than last year. I mean, 26th in runs scored, 27th in on-base percentage, but last in slugging, last in batting average. Those are some real White Sox numbers. So we'll see if they're able to get anything going here against the Rangers, who are 33-36 on the season after winning 2 out of 3 against the Twins. Putting up that crazy 16-run game yesterday really messed us up on our underplay. That was wild. You never expect the Rangers to do that. Unfortunately, we don't have a confirmed starter for the Rangers. Apparently, the odds makers expected to be somebody pretty good. And, just in terms of the Rangers' pitching situation this year, they're 11th in quality starts, 3rd in earned run average, 1st in whip, and 3rd in batting average against. So we're not too worried about the pitching for the Rangers. The bullpen's been decent, recently as well. We are very worried about the offense, which is pretty atrocious, guys. They're 26th in runs scored, 28th in batting average. They're coming off a 16-run game. They actually scored 16 twice in that series against the Twins. Is that a normal thing for the Rangers to do? Absolutely not. Can they do it again? I guess it's possible, but seems unlikely. So look at the numbers here. The White Sox are plus 240. The Rangers are minus 295. We've got a total of 7.5. The White Sox are 7-27 on the road, 20-13-1 to the under on the road. The Rangers are 20-13 at home, 25-8 to the under at home. That's an MLB best mark to the under at home. And guys, this is a Texas Rangers game, so we have to at least look at the under. 7.5 though, can't really get behind that one. In terms of a side, I got to see who the Rangers starter is before I can give you a real lean on that one, so gonna have to wait and see. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Twins coming off a very confusing and very unfortunate series there against the Rangers, where they lose 13-6, win 6-2, and lose 16-4. They'll hand the ball in this game to Chris Paddock, who's 2-5 on the year, a 3.53 ERA. He's been throwing the ball great over his last 5 starts, not giving up more than 2 earned runs in any of those outings. But somehow the Twins are still only 1-4 over that span with him on the mound. So that's got to be very frustrating. He's throwing the ball great, not getting any run support. The last time he faced Houston, which was in early April, he needed run support and didn't get any, and also pitched terrible. So we'll see if he can bounce back from that, although, it was a long time ago, so let's not get too wrapped up there. The Twins bullpen, a 3.79 bullpen ERA, not looking nearly as good now as it did during their lengthy winning streak earlier this year. And the offense, I'm not going to say it's cratering, but it's not looking great. I mean, they're 17th in runs scored, they're 18th in batting average, 16th in on-base percentage. I feel like middle of the road for this offense is probably where they're going to end up by the end of the year. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against these Houston Astros, who are now 38-30 on the season. They're atop the AL West. They just won 2 out of 3 against the White Sox, and hand the ball in this game to Colton Gordon, who's 1-1 on the season, a 5.11 ERA. This, young-ish lefty had a decent time against Cleveland his last time out. 5 innings, 7 hits, only a single earned run allowed. That's a better start than he's had over his last several, though. So we'll see what he does in this one. He usually gets plenty of run support, but that's not something you can always count on. This is only his 6th start of the year, so we'll see what Colton Gordon does out there. The Houston bullpen's been excellent, 5th best in the majors. Not a lot of problem there. The offense, it looked okay against the White Sox, but over the course of the year, it's been very problematic. 21st in runs scored, 17th in slugging percentage. All this despite being top 10 in batting average. Why can't they get runs across the plate? What is going on for the Astros? So looking at the numbers here, the Twins are plus 100. The Astros are minus 120. We've got a total of 8 in this game. Minnesota is 16-20 on the road. They are 19-14-3 to the under on the road. Houston, 23-13 at home. 20-15-1 to the under at home. With these teams showing such big trends towards the under, I think we have to consider under 8 here. I don't necessarily love it. In terms of a side, with the Twins struggling so aggressively recently and Houston being a pretty good home team, I'll lean towards the Astros at minus 120, but am I leaning hard enough to put it in the pinned comment? With Colton Gordon on the mound, I kind of feel like no. Next up, we're looking at the Sacramento Athletics going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Athletics are 26-44 on the season. They just got swept by the Angels, so that's a tough look. They'll hand the ball in this game to Luis Severino, who's 1-6 on the year, a 4.77 ERA. He's gotten shelled in each of his last two starts, getting knocked around by the Twins and then obliterated by the Orioles. So we'll see what it looks like here against the Royals, but it has not been a kind season for Luis Severino. Doesn't seem like he's enjoying his time with the Athletics, which, I mean, can't blame him there, obviously. Now, the Athletics bullpen, worst in the majors, a 6.04 bullpen ERA. That's pretty embarrassing. And the offense, while it has looked really good at times, has been floundering a bit recently. They're 12th in the majors in runs scored, 8th in batting average, 7th in slugging percentage, but 5, 1, 4, 5, and 4 runs over their last few. Not lighting the world on fire. So, looking at the Royals for this game, guys, they're hoping they can bounce back after getting swept by the Yankees. They're 34-35 on the season, hitting the ball in this game to Michael Wacha, who's 3-5 on the year, a 3.01 ERA. Now, his last start was at the White Sox, and he gave up 3 earned runs on 6 hits over 6 innings and a 4-1 loss. But he's had some great outings recently, for sure, even against some pretty decent teams like Detroit, for example. So we'll see what he can do here against the Athletics. Not a team he's faced yet this year, but I doubt he's too terrified of them. The Royals bullpen has also been very serviceable this season. Maybe a little bit of struggle recently, a 3.47 bullpen ERA. Still, though, very reasonable. In the offense, that's where the problems are at, guys. They've scored 0, 3, 2, 7, 1, and 2 runs over their last few games. They're 28th in runs scored. They're 25th in on-base percentage. Why can't anybody get a run across the plate for the Royals? It's getting kind of embarrassing at this point. So looking at the numbers, the Athletics are plus 135. The Royals are minus 164. We've got a total of 8.5 in this one. The Athletics are 14-21 on the road. They're 17-13-5 to the over on the road. The Royals are 19-15 at home, 24-14 to the under at home. I think under 8.5 is pretty reasonable in this game. You could also certainly talk me into under in the first 5 so that we dodge dealing with that Athletics bullpen. But is this going in the pinned comment? Seems like a bit of a stretch. I do think this under, though, is fairly reasonable, so we'll put it on the list. Next on the docket, we're looking at the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Cardinals have now lost 5 in a row. They got swept by the Blue Jays, lost the last game of that series against the Dodgers. Now they lost the first game of this series at the Brewers. Yeah, the Cardinals did not have a great time at the plate against that, Milwaukee Brewers phenom. He was throwing gas out there, so I guess I shouldn't be that shocked. Now, the Cardinals will hand the ball in this one to Eric Feedy, who's 3-5 on the year, a 3.54 ERA. His last start was against the Dodgers. He was great. It was a 2-1 win for the Cardinals. He went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 4 hits and no runs in that game. So very good stuff there. I would say he's looked good over his last couple of starts, but not the most consistent guy out there on the mound. So we'll see what he can do here against the Brewers, a team that he got absolutely obliterated by back in late April. So it would be a big bounce back spot for him against this opponent. Now, in terms of the bullpen for the Cardinals, that's been a little bit problematic this year. It's better than it was at the beginning of the season, but still not very good. The offense is falling off as well. Something I kind of thought would happen earlier in the year, but I don't know. We'll see. They've scored 0, 2, 9, 4, and 3 runs over their last several games. They're still 7th in runs scored and 4th in batting average, but it does not feel like the Cardinals are swinging very hot bats right now. So we'll see what they can do here against the Brewers, who are fresh off that 6-0 win. They're only 37-33 on the season, so not having a great time. They'll hand the ball to Freddie Peralta, who's 5-4 this year. This 29-year-old has done some very good stuff, a 2.69 ERA. His last start, 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs allowed. Walked 2, struck out 3 in a 1-0 loss against the Padres. That's got to feel a little brutal. He hasn't given up more than 3 earned runs in any of his last 5 starts, so that's all a very good look. He has somehow managed to not face the Cardinals yet this season. So we'll see what Freddie Peralta does on the mound in this one. I'm expecting pretty good stuff. I do worry about the Milwaukee bullpen, a 4.34 bullpen ERA, obviously not very good. The offense, 6, 2, 4, 1, and 0 runs over the last few games is very concerning. They're 12th in runs scored somehow, but 24th in batting average and 28th in slugging percentage. Doesn't exactly get me jazzed up. They don't run a ton of very talented hitters up there. That's just not part of what Milwaukee has on the roster right now. So looking at the numbers, the Cardinals are plus 135. The Brewers are minus 160. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. The Cardinals are 14-18 on the road, and they are skidding. They're 17-14-1 to the over on the road. The Brewers are 20-14 at home. They're 22-12-1 to the under at home. I don't think I'm going to be siding with the Cardinals in this one. Give me the Brewers at minus 160. It's a bit of an expensive price, but I think it might be worth it. I haven't loved Feedy this year. Obviously, he has terrible history against the Brewers, so I think Peralta will have a decent start, and the Milwaukee Bats will get the job done. Next up, we're looking at the San Diego Padres. They're taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Padres 38-29 on the year. They just lost 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. We'll see what they can do in this one, hitting the ball to Stephen Kolek, who's 3-1 on the season, a 3.00 ERA. His last couple of starts have been dominant. Hasn't given up an earned run over either one. That's 0 earned runs over his last 11 and a third innings. A grand total of 3 hits allowed. Now, the Padres are only 1-1 over that span, so that's a little bit annoying for him, I'm sure. But he's throwing the ball great right now. Definitely good to see. In terms of history against the Diamondbacks this year, he has not faced them this season, which, not a huge surprise there. He hasn't made that many starts this year, like 6, 8 starts, something like that. So we'll see what Kolek looks out there. The Padres bullpen, it's been great this season, currently 3rd best in the majors. The offense, where has the offense gone for the Padres, guys? They're 19th in runs scored. They are 23rd in slugging percentage. Just not a lot of power, not a lot of runs coming out of the Padres at the moment. So we'll see what they can do here against the Diamondbacks, who are a 500 team after sweeping the Mariners. They'll hand the ball to Ryan Nelson, hoping he can keep this roll going. He's been in and out of the bullpen recently. His last outing was a start at Cincinnati, but he got obliterated by the Reds in what was eventually a 13-1 loss. So I'm sure the Padres are a little bit I'm sure the Diamondbacks are a little bit concerned about handing him the ball here. Now, we'll see what he can do against the Padres. Has he faced them yet this season? Does not appear so. It looks like he's managed to avoid them this year. So we'll see what Ryan Nelson looks like, but not somebody I'm super stoked about. Also not stoked about that Diamondbacks bullpen. 4th worst in the majors with an ERA well over 5. One thing I do love for the Diamondbacks is that offense. It's pretty nuts, guys. They are, 3rd in on-base percentage, 4th in runs scored. They're 6th in batting average and 3rd in slugging percentage. They've scored 5, 10, 8, 2, 1, and 3 runs over their last few games. I think this is going to be one of those series where the Diamondbacks hit the ball. So looking at the numbers here, the Padres are plus 105. The Diamondbacks are minus 123. We've got a total of 9.5. The Padres are a 500 team on the road. They're 19-14-1 to the under on the road. Arizona 18-17 at home, 17-15-3 to the under at home. I think this is a pretty reasonable spot to look at the Padres here at plus 105 as a potential dog of the day. Kolek seems like a way better starter than Ryan Nelson. I do worry about the Padres offense being good enough to keep up with that Diamondbacks offense, but I don't know that Arizona is going to be scoring that many runs off the Padres pitching staff right now. So definitely give me the Padres here at plus 105. I'm more than happy to fade Ryan Nelson. Next up, we're going to take a quick peek at the Cleveland Guardians going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. Now, unfortunately, no numbers posted for this game as of yet, so we'll have to wait and see which side we like. The Guardians did manage to win their last game against the Reds and won it 11-2, but it wasn't a great series for them. They'll hand the ball in this game to Gavin Williams, who's 5-3 this season, a 3.86 ERA, so that all looks very good. He's coming off a decent but not great start against Houston, but a very good start against the Angels. We'll see what he can do here against the Mariners, a team that's been cooling off pretty aggressively at the plate. He hasn't faced them yet this season. The Cleveland bullpen, not insane, but not terrible. The offense, pretty mediocre, despite the fact they're coming off an 11-run game. They're still 23rd in runs scored. The Jose Ramirez show, that dude can't carry an offense all by himself. That's a pretty big ask. So we'll see what they can do here against the Mariners, who just got swept by the Diamondbacks. They're now in 2nd place in the AL West, so that has to feel pretty bad. They're handing the ball to Luis Castillo, who's 4-4 on the year, a 3.31 ERA. He got shelled by the Angels his last time out, so that's not ideal, obviously. We'll see what he can do here against a Cleveland team, which he'll be facing for the first time this year. The Mariners bullpen, not looking as good as it looked early in the season, I'll tell you that. Below average now, a 3.99 bullpen ERA, and this offense that got off to such a hot start. They're 15th in runs scored now, but 20th in batting average and 12th in on-base percentage. Cal Raleigh keeps hitting home runs, guys. He's up to 26 home runs, but there's not usually anybody on base when he hits those, so we'll see what they can do. Obviously, like I was saying, guys, this is a wait-and-see spot until we get some numbers. In our last MLB game, before we hop over and look at our one NBA Finals game on the slate, we've got the San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the LA Dodgers. The Giants just managed to win 2 out of 3 against the Rockies, but lose the last game kind of embarrassingly, so we'll see what their bounce back looks like in this one. They'll hand the ball to Logan Webb, who's 5-5 on the year, a 2.58 ERA. He was good against Atlanta his last time out, 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs. Not as good as he was against the Padres to start before that, where he went 8 innings, gave up 6 hits, and no runs while striking out 7. He struck out 10, 7, and 10 over his last 3 games, though. Very, very good stuff. We'll see what he looks like here against the Dodgers. Obviously a pretty tough team to face, but Logan Webb, he could be up to the task. The bullpen for San Francisco this year has been the best in the majors, a 2.45 bullpen ERA. The offense has been hitting the ball extremely well recently. They're 16th in runs scored, 25th in batting average, 21st in on-base percentage, but they're swinging the bats way better than that over, I would say, their last, 8 to 10 games, something like that. So we'll see what they do here on the road against the Dodgers, who are 41-28 this season. They just won 2 out of 3 against the Padres, playing the ball in this game to Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's 6-4, a 2.20 ERA. His last start, he dominated the Cardinals, 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs allowed. He struck out 9 and walked 2 in a game. We saw the Dodgers eventually lose 2-1, but that obviously, not his fault. He's having a very good season. I'm sure the Dodgers are extremely happy with him. He hasn't faced the Giants yet this year, but I'm expecting him to have a pretty good time against San Francisco. The Dodgers bullpen, though, turning into a bit of a problem down the stretch this year. A 4.03 bullpen ERA. They're closing in on being in the bottom third of the majors. The offense, it's obviously excellent. Now they've scored 5, 1, 8, 7, and 1 runs over their last few. So definitely capable of putting up some, pretty weak performances. But also, guys, this is one of the craziest offenses in the majors. They're first in runs scored, second in on-base percentage. So we'll see what they get up to here against Logan Webb and the Giants. Now, the numbers for this game, the Giants are plus 140. The Dodgers are minus 165. We've got a total of 7.5. San Francisco is 18-18 on the road, 18-17-1 to the over on the road. The Dodgers are 23-11 at home, 22-12 to the over at home. That's an MLB best to the over at home. Given these trends, maybe we look towards over 7.5, which seems insane with these two dudes on the mound, but you never know. In terms of a side, I am going to lean towards the Dodgers just slightly, but I don't love it. My favorite play on this game, though, is no run first inning. I think we're very unlikely to see either one of these dudes crack in the first inning. Neither offense is really killing it at this exact moment, so definitely take the no run first inning in this game pretty seriously. Now, guys, we're going to hop over and look at our one NBA Finals game on the night. We've got the Oklahoma City Thunder going on the road here in game 4 to take on the Indiana Pacers. Now, in game 3, we saw the Pacers come out and get a pretty convincing looking 116-107 win. I mean, it just didn't feel fluky. Like, we've seen some of these games from the Pacers, or not really games from the Thunder, but some games from the Pacers look a little fluky. This did not really have that look, guys. The Pacers came out. They won this game despite shooting only 33% from three-point range. They shot almost 52% from the field. They got out-rebounded by the Thunder and still managed to come away with the win thanks to a big game from Siakam, who didn't even play, quite that much down the stretch. Siakam played well. Halliburton played well, but it was really, guys, Mathurin and TJ McConnell coming off the bench. Hope you were with us there on that TJ McConnell player prop, getting over, 6.5 points on that one? That felt like the lock of the century, guys. He put up 10, which honestly could have put up more. Obi Toppin also had a massive performance despite going 0-3 from 3. I mean, 8 points, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks in 28 minutes. Doesn't look like much, but he was doing all kinds of good stuff out there. So a great game from the Pacers, who really took it to the Thunder in this one. We saw SGA have a rare bad game, putting up only 24 points in his 42 minutes. Jalen Williams played great, 26 points. Chet put up 20 points, but only went 6 of 15 from the field and was 0-6 from 3. That's a problem that's going to have to be addressed. Caruso and Isaiah Joe combined to go 4 of 4 from 3, but Caruso was out there 32 minutes, and they needed every bit of his defense, but he was still a minus 15. So a rough night from the Thunder, who lost this game despite shooting 45.5% from 3. You don't see that every day. They also shot 30 free throws, and the Pacers only shot 22. But yeah, a very nice day out there for Pacers fans. So I'm sure they're stoked here, headed into a pivotal game 4. Both teams are fully healthy, so we'll see what happens. Now, the Pacers are getting 6 points here at home. We got a total of 225.5. The Thunder, they're 25-21-2 against the spread on the road. They're 24-23-1 to the over on the road. The Pacers, 23-24-3 against the spread at home. 26-24 to the over at home. I'm maybe leaning slightly towards over 225.5. Not a play where I find a lot of value, though. In terms of a side here, I'm going to be looking at the Thunder at -6. It doesn't feel ideal, but it feels like a spot where they're going to bounce back and get a win. I said, after the Pacers won game 1, that I thought the Thunder would probably find a way to win either game 3 or game 4 in Indiana. I think this is probably going to be it, guys. So I'm going to be leaning towards the Thunder here at -6. I don't love this play enough to put it in the pinned comment necessarily, but it's just a play based on this is the flow of this series. So that's kind of what I think is going to happen, but I like the player props in this one very, very much. I like TJ McConnell here over 7.5 points. 9 points in game 1, 11 points in game 2, 10 points in game 3. He's going to get his shots regardless of the way this game is going, and overall, just super important to this bench unit. So I think he's going to get up to at least 8 points in this game, but I think he could comfortably have double-digit points. I also like Siakam here, under 8.5 rebounds. He had 10 in game 1, 7 in game 2, all the way down to 6 in a very good for him game 3. I don't think this is going to be a great game 4 for Indiana necessarily. I don't think Siakam is going to do that much on the glass in this one, so I'll definitely take the under on his rebounds. That's all the games we've got for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Get over to stumpthespread.com by clicking the link in the description. Get on that free email list, guys. It's absolutely free. All they need is your name and your email address. That's it, and it's going to be free information straight to your inbox every single day. I really appreciate every single one of you who watches these videos, guys. We'll be right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.